that's what they wanna do.
Look at him, Bobby.
Well, it can happen. Nobody around.
Oh, really?
The first 10 days.
What's that?
See anybody here?
On that day,
I'll be last minute
you
or
ever tell them fishermen, you ever go down there, I think we have watched it spring.
a couple more
There's
minutes.
more
Before
fishing
they
boats
change,
around there than I've ever
they change
seen,
their ways real quick.
you know?
We know that.
I haven't got here, 5 out of 7 at least.
Especially if this weather keeps up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but anyways,
we can do it right there, and they can walk.
Hello, Mr. Renner, how are you?
Sam,
All
good.
kinds of good stuff. And I was thinking,
my bills would just get through.
well, why couldn't, if they wanted to spend the night there, if they have a cabin,
For a bike ride today.
something stupidly, insanely cheap. And we
I
just,
need to do something, cost me $71 tonight for my damn deer licenses.
nobody
For
could.
the year?
Yeah.
The kids have to analyze it.
I had to buy that
You
stupid
know, a couple dozen, 10.
$11 thing. What do they call it? A basic. $11 basic license.
Yeah.
You have to buy before you can purchase any licenses.
Did they ever do a tree paddle? I never got anything back from them.
And then if you buy another tag with
Remember they're gonna do
it,
it?
then it becomes your small
They
game
didn't do
tag.
it? 'Cause, okay.
And I don't hunt small game,
Oh, you mean, oh, the end.
so it was a waste of
They're gonna do
$11.
it
But I
this
had to
week
buy it in
sometime.
order to buy a deer
No, I
tag.
haven't heard
Technically,
that.
yeah, they're not.
Okay, yeah, I think it's
And
supposed
now
to
I
be
got a
here
small
pretty
game
soon.
license.
Cause I told the lady from out
Yeah,
there,
that's
stop at Central Lake, I'll pick you up and drive you the rest of the way.
202.
You know,
Roads.
or take the pontoon, I don't care.
Well, I'm sure it's salt sand is what come in, but does this happen normally?
Yeah, but it's
every
really-
winter?
No, that's why freaking Bert sent
Well,
us
the
that
firepower
bill.
that they had, I'm trying to multi-million dollar
For salt
company.
from last year.
Bring
So we need to make an amendment.
entourage.
So you
No,
got
no,
one.
no,
And that's what it is.
because if you go down, you'll find another one. Where we
Anything else going on?
salt. Where would you?
Right here.
Okay, where those are another
Contracted.
No.
I'm subbing that day at elementary school, Tim Banner, I'm subbing that.
Yeah, we go
I said, make sure you're working out. Right now, oh yeah, Gary, yeah. All right.
All right, well, yeah, I just seen that, I thought, shit, we haven't done anything yet. Rachel pulled it up on the computer, so we knew what it was, we just didn't know, do we need to make an amendment?
Thanks, Ann.
Now I got a small game.
People central.
Isn't that foolish? They sucked me out, they sucked $11 out of me last time.
Combined beer.
Cost me $11 more to buy the exact same license.
She had too many.
It used to cost me
What do you got
$60.
here? Do you like?
I'll talk to them.
I
Thanks a lot.
got 2 deer licenses, a doe tag, and a small game license. And it used to be for the exact same 4 licenses, it was $60 last year. But it was 15, each one was $15 last year. This year, they changed it. You have to buy the basic license, no matter what. Suck my money up. Because if I don't go coyote hunting, I didn't buy a small game license. I do go, I just didn't go last year. That's all. But it would cost me Where's Melissa? Where's Brenda? Get it going, so we get it going. I'm going up there. Where's Ryan?
Oh, I saw him earlier. He was at the grocery store earlier. That's pretty cool. I'll just reach over and say, like you do with my mom used to do with my kids.
That's why I brought, it's the same thing I said.
Then I looked at the layout, I thought, "Cop's okay."
You got the bagger? You got the bagger? I know. That works good? Good.
One just pulled in. I'm surprised all the people we pissed off with the nuisance ordinances.
And then Oh, no, the sale of, okay, I looked at it wrong.
Look, I
Sorry.
parked his trailer.
My fault,
They're
sorry.
in an alleyway, so we told me to move it. Or send him a notice. He leaves us a message.
And I'll fight you guys all the way.
I'm like, no, you won't, I'll just move it myself. So then I called back, I said, I got this. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Overreacted. I said, tell me, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a deep breath.
He was ready to go by.
All I'm gonna do is tell you, move it out of the air.
Don't do that.
I'm thinking, why would you leave a nasty message? Hey, Red, how are you?
You run 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I was just kind of staying warm.
Yeah, I am tonight.
I'm looking at this whole plowing.
You gotta remember, right now I'm dressed, I got 20 pounds more than I normally wear. I sweat all summer long, so this is kind of a nice breeze. Now when I get on my motorcycle or something like that, what's that?
Hi, Joe.
I'm a citizen.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 7 p.m.
I'm a troublemaker.
All stand for pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call. That we excuse. Here. 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 We'll accept the motion to approve the agenda of September 11, 2014 as presented.
I'd like to make an amendment to the budget and new business B, purchase of another bench for Pearson Park, just for discussion.
Okay, I would accept the motion to approve the agenda of September 11, 2014 as amended. Motion by Bobby, second by Chapman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Accept the motion to approve the minutes of the August 14, 2014 regular board meeting. Motion by Chapman, second by Thayer. All in favor? Motion passed. Public comment. Comment from you. Scott is. Hi Scott, I didn't see you back there.
How are you back here? Thank you. Hopefully everybody gets a chance to look at the monthly report. A little busy. You'll see some numbers that are look pretty high. They're just honestly a little inflated because we tackled the ordinance issues this month. Down on your list there to the left, midway through the report, it shows that 52 ordinance violations, and that's just a representative of how many letters that we sent out. So overall, we got a little, let's see, 52 letters were sent out. Probably about a third of them already have probably addressed the problems and corrected it, so we're doing pretty good there. The letter that was sent out gives them until the 19th to correct the problems. If not, second letter is going to either be handed to them or posted at their residence, giving them the official 10-day notice to get the matter cleaned up. And the ordinance violations were anything from junk cars to junk in the yard to tall grass and just a little bit of everything. So. Not everybody was happy, but for the most part, I think we're getting a lot of good feedback that people are glad to see some things being moved and some things getting improved and stuff like that. So I can already automatically see a difference. So we'll see how it works out here. Poor Bob's got, you know, probably every time we come in, there's 4 or 5 phone calls every day that we have to return. So, but I think most of the people realize, you know, it's nothing personal. It's just something that will help the village out as a whole. So, a couple other things. We had a shoot, we posted a Chiefs meeting, and then we also helped Harbor Spring, Elk Rapids out with their Harbor Day activities. One of the things I don't have on here that I just found out today, that Al and Bob went down to the Michigan Pistol Shoot again this morning, and they're bringing back the first place trophy again, so.
Okay.
So I think that's probably, the last 3 or 4 years, we've got it 3 out of 4 years or something like that, so. So they're pretty excited about that, so. Can't think of anything else. Bills are mentioned, oh. Let me check here real quick, I'm sorry. Oh, Bill's got something about the grants, the grant for the car, and we'll talk about that if there's any other questions.
I have one.
Yes, sir.
You said that when the ordinances, does that include, excuse me, vacant lots and so forth?
Yes.
Was one issued to Dover Corporation for the big area next to my home?
No, but we can address that,
Thank you.
it's kind of an ongoing thing, I know that, so we'll kind of send them a reminder. They're usually pretty good about following up on it, so.
Well, I hope so.
And this, the unfortunate part about it is when we sent the letters out, I went out and then Bob and I went out and we kind of, in all fairness, went from one side of town to the other. And even today when I drove around, I found a couple that I missed, but it's kind of hard to keep track of all of them. One house in particular, they took care of a junk car, but when they moved the junk car, there's other obviously issues that were hiding behind the car. So I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna send them another one for that. So, but we'll keep, it's gonna be a work in progress, and we'll do the best we can. And you know, we're giving a lot of people, some people ask for a little bit extra time, which we don't mind giving them that if it's truly needed or, you know, they're gonna take advantage of it, so. Any other questions?
Great, thank you, Scott. Sam?
Everybody has a DPW report sheet, I hope. On it, you'll notice I went ahead and wrote down, we've been working up to the Ron Donaldson field. We've spent a lot of time out there working on the tennis courts, basketball courts, tree trimming, playground equipment, and we got a lot of time and effort into it. And I know Rob Tyler has got a little more in his part of his tonight than Leela does, I think, on the parks. And I wish you guys would consider maybe the basketball court or the tennis court refinishing of it. And the lot Alden State Bank give us, we've been up there removing lots of branches. We found an old fence in there, so we gotta get that dug out. And we're gonna, the retaining wall on the backside of Alden State Bank, I talked to him today, and Tom Lane told us that we'd go ahead and try to straighten that wall out for him. And I figure since we're gonna be up there cleaning it up like that, we might just well try to get the wall straight too. Any questions?
Oh, you liking your new bagger there? Working out better?
Working nice.
Sure makes a difference in the looks of the lot behind
Yeah.
it. Yeah, really.
Should we have Mike Merriweather look at those big pine trees on that lot? Like
There's
those
nothing to look
today,
at.
they look,
Ken, there's nothing to look at. They're solid woodpecker holes, they're dead all the way through.
can we have Mike go look at them, so if
And
anybody?
we can call him and have him
Better.
swing by, what we know,
Oh, yeah,
tell
okay.
us.
They were premature.
That's what I'm saying, so, but I mean, we
Good
agreed
luck.
before that we would take down no trees until Mike Merriweather.
The tops are broke completely,
So-
they're shot. I'll give him a call.
Can we do
I'll
that?
give him a jingle tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I bet he's already seen them.
He probably has, but it just.
Yeah, I will call him tomorrow morning and I'll get back with you at the
They were nice
next.
big old pines in their day, but when you're cleaning it up, I looked and I thought, we're trying to save something.
And that's gonna be expensive removing them trees.
It is, so that's.
There's one there, I believe we can take out ourselves. Other than that, the other three, I think we're gonna pay somebody to take them out.
Okay, we'll deal with that.
Yep.
Over the next month,
If
right?
we opt to do that. Yep.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you. Any other questions for Sam? Okay.
Thank you.
Lyle is not here. Leila, you talked to Lyle? He's
Yeah, I
sick.
talked
Did
to
he
him,
have
he
anything
is
he wanted
ill
to-
today, but he's requested that our committee meet together and come down there and talk to him. He has a list of things that he needs addressed. So we'll just wait until we have our meeting, so that we can find out what we can do, okay?
Okay.
He's got 10 people down there right now with parking, and he's got another one coming in tonight, and he's got several coming in this weekend. So he will have more people coming in. That's about it.
Okay. Rachel?
You don't get to say no?
No.
I contacted the insurance company and asked them a few questions about the playground equipment at the Ron Donaldson field, and they said that we were able to keep it and stain it, which Sam and the guys have been doing that. And then we ordered 4 matching swings to go up there that should be here soon. Taxes are coming to an end. The office will be open 8 to 4 on Monday for the last day to collect taxes. I'm currently looking into the former members of the Central Lake Yacht Club, which is in reference to the disputed property at the north end of the lake. And I ran all the numbers for the campground reservations for next year. We have 68 reservations for next year already, totaling $22,342. And as of right now, we have collected $9,728 of that, which brings the campground revenue to about $50,000 for this year. And
Nice.
I attended the BDA meeting, but Corey's gonna be talking about that. That's about it.
Thank you. Any questions for Rachel?
How's the taxes going in?
A lot of them are coming in.
Just normal or
Yep,
not buying?
easier than it was last year because I had a year behind me. But,
I just wondered how much we turned over to the county.
I won't know that till after.
I know you can't tell yet, but.
Thank you. Corey, EDA?
The DDA met, actually it was the 3rd, Wednesday, I conserved the date on my notes here. We voted and approved our downtown development TIF plan. And so it's a basic plan, it's the start of the process for, to get approval. So next it goes to public hearing, which I think you guys are talking about tonight. We drafted a letter of commitment to the Michigan Main Street program. We've got to have that in order, we have to do that yearly, and then I'm working with Ken on getting one from the council as well. Formed a steering committee for the Main Street program, co-chaired by Nancy Bridges and Melissa Zelnick, to be made up of citizens and board members. It's the beginning of the process to become a Main Street community. It's required to have this committee at this level, and then we're able to move on to the next level where they actually give us all the assistance with developing our downtown. We had a resignation of Martin Kirk due to a time commitment. There's now an open seat in the board, and we're looking for somebody with interest in the downtown area. We worked a little bit on the open space down here. We talked about the rules. For the next couple projects, we need to do some painting on the site of Patent Insurance. And we're also talking to the school regarding having them design a mural to put on the side there for that park area. Also working on a fence for the back area and a door, and that should be here in the next couple weeks. Some of us are going to attend a training at NMC regarding crowdfunding, which is a different way to fund projects based on public donations. So we're gonna learn a little bit more about that. And then next month, we're looking at revisiting our bylaws. We got a skating rink coming up, farmer's market for next, hopefully spring. And then we'll work on identifying some additional sources of funding, grants, crowdfunding, fundraising. So that's pretty much it.
Did you get a copy of our park rules? I remember.
Yes, Rich dropped some off, and then I
I
got
need
my
to
one.
look at it, I remember. Okay, okay,
I
all
got
right. Thank you, Rachel. Any questions for Cory? Thanks, Cory. Correspondence, I have one, it's a notice of a public hearing for Consumers Energy Company. This one is on for temporary waiver of Rule 460.2352 and for approval of alternative natural gas diaphragm meter testing procedures. Anybody like to attend that? It's September 14th, 2014, 9 a.m. in Lansing. And a letter from, this is from Dennis and Linda Flynn. It says, "Hi, Lyle. Just wanted to say how much we enjoyed our visit to Thurston Park Campground. I know we will be back sometime. Love the view from our campsite, number 33, and enjoyed the quiet, calm park. What a great place to kick back, relax, and get a little fishing and also. The park had a good year. We're glad of that. That's the only correspondence I have. We'll move on to committee reports. Rob?
Let's see, nothing new on lights, nothing new on sidewalks, streets, there's 3 new handicap, signs and painted blue lines on Main Street, 180 accessible, spot across from the Patton's new barber shop. You'll see that sign right there as well. Hate to say it, Sam and I sat down, started talking about snow, we're ready to go. Trucks, the snow blower, everything's ready to go, we've got the parts, and when it hits, we're gonna be ready, so we're really good there. I shouldn't say really good. We're hopefully prepared, I think we are. And that is it. Layla's gonna talk about some other things on the tennis courts.
Can I ask a question there, Tim?
Yes.
Sidewalks last year were an issue, plowing them, going them clear. Is that gonna be done a little better this year, you think, or is there no way to improve that? So that people can walk safely on them from the end of the sidewalk downtown and back?
So in terms of the amount of snow falling or where we're putting the snow?
Well, it just, they weren't plowed enough, so ice would build up. It was hard to walk. A lot of them you couldn't really walk on, you had to walk in the street.
Oh, in front of the Blue Pelican, that was one of the spots. That
No,
was-
it's down the other end of town,
All right.
south end.
Okay, by your house.
Where the sidewalks start, on Cameron,
Mhm.
and then they go all the way down through town. But there was, snow, and you just couldn't walk on it because it built up, and you had to walk in the street to it, which is unsafe.
Definitely.
And I think Sam got some comments about that last year, so. I think you got some input from people about the sidewalks last year.
Well, we don't have sidewalks go to Cameron anyways, but Ballard
Or
Street.
Ballard Street. that's
Well, the
what-
problem was, Joe, you gotta keep in mind, we don't keep 88 plowed. And when we do the sidewalk on that side of M88 headed to the north, all the way through, we got all that, wet, heavy snow, the county come through and plowed it in. Of course, once our snow blower broke down. So we went 2 weeks, we couldn't even get through it. Well, then we got the snow blower put back together, and then the county had it packed in so tight, we couldn't get through it with the snow blower. So there become other issues at that point. That's why there was times where you had a tough time getting done the
So if
sidewalks.
the snow blower's working, it shouldn't be a problem.
It should not be a problem.
Well,
We checked it over, it's working.
The downtown part is, I wanna say it was exceptional this last year.
Well, yeah, but,
Our corner, it was,
yeah, you're right downtown, I'm talking
Very.
about sidewalks further.
right,
further
well,
away.
that's what we wanted the priority put on, was the downtown sidewalk.
Well, people walk the other way too, Bill.
Well, certainly,
I mean, it's just not downtown.
certainly, but the downtown portion for morning traffic was the big.
Right, I understand that it may take precedence, but you shouldn't forget the other part too. Anyway, that's my comment.
There was,
And we
do a
will,
breakdown.
we will do our best, Joe, I
Yeah.
promise you that.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Here, Sam, is there anything on sewer and water that we?
No, other than the boring contractor, the Mystics have been called in for Eric Street. I don't wanna scare you too bad. And I'm just waiting on Chase to come in and get them bored in, and then we'll start putting them in at our leisure. All the parts have been ordered for them, we're ready to go.
Thank you. Bill?
Well, we had a meeting with the USDA rural development in reference to the patrol car application for a grant. And the pre-app is pretty well completed and is ready to be submitted. Simple Lake's eligible in this grant for 55%. So, the patrol car is estimated to cost to be $33,000, and the village's part would be $15,000 paid for a new patrol car. So, and there's more details coming. It's not, it's not finalized yet, but Scott's working really hard on it.
My goal is to finish up that pre-app and then maybe have it so that all the board members can look at it for next board meeting. Maybe we can put it on the agenda. And then you guys can kind of do a once over before we actually submit it. So we've got a little bit of time, so I just want to make sure that you guys are all aware of what's going on. The $33,000 means a brand new car with everything in it brand new. It's more feasible to do that. Obviously, if we're getting match length, if we're only paying 45% of the cost of it, it makes sense to not put used old stuff into a brand new car, then have to turn around and repair it somewhere down the road. So And the nice part about this is the grant would probably, you know, buy the whole new car and it would be set for the next 6 to 8 years easy. So it's kind of a good way to put our ducks in a row for the future, so. Like I said, I'll hopefully have that, Ken's already taken a look at it, and we just gotta do a couple minor things. I'll have it ready to go for next board meeting, so you guys can look at it before, and then if there's any comments or concerns or anything, and then all we need is just the green light to submit it. And then, once that's done, somewhere down the road, there's actually a final application that'll need to be, filled out, so.
Who's the grant through?
The USDA, the rural development.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Bill? Rod?
That's really the only project I was working on hold due to the property.
I did, I'm sorry, could you speak up?
Oh, I said the only thing we've been working on is still tabled was the cameras for the North End Intermediate, but due to the dispute of the property dispute, it's still on hold for the live streaming Intermediate Lake.
Hey, Brad, are we gonna do some advertising for the campground for TV?
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we're into that one.
Okay. Any questions for Rod? Joe, finance?
Pretty much I looked at the budget, revenue and expenditure, she had some questions, got with Sam here today, Rachel yesterday, and worked through them. I attended the USDA meeting that Scott and Ken and myself and Rachel were involved with. Really, they had some great information for things, for public people also, that trying to get into different programs, help with housing and different programs. Rachel posted that information in the board at the open space there at uptown. I believe we're gonna have it in our office also, some of it if people request it. And Ken and I were talking of trying to set up a meeting if we can get the interest in it, to help promote that more for them. So that's pretty much all that I've worked on here.
Joe? Leela, Parks?
Okay, we went up and checked the Donaldson Court where the tennis courts are, and we had a bid to be done next year from 2 different people. Anyway, it needs to be done, if not, the letter we, excuse me, the letter we got from the specialist, he said that he looked at them, they're in prime restoration, which means they darn well better be taken care of now, or they're gonna deteriorate more. And it includes the cleaning of the courts, the repairs, the painting, especially the painting of different parts of it. So I guess it would be up to the committee whether, or the board, as whether or not they want to spend the money, and it should be done. We also are, apparently you've talked about, we've got new swings coming for a park up there also, so. That, you've got copies of the bids, so you should know what they're about, right? You got anything else you want to add to that, Rob?
Just that we could only find one bid or one company to do this project. So I know we're supposed to find 2 other bids, but it's, finding a tennis court resurfacing company is very, very difficult. So that's why we only have the one bid, and that's where we're at on that. And one thing on the line item, it says, we'll paint a pickleball court on there as well.
Right.
I didn't know what pickleball court was, so I did some research on it. It's the fastest growing racket sport in the United States today, just so you know. And they're actually having a pickleball tournament in Traverse City this weekend. Now, it's at the corner of 4 Mile Road and 31, and there was the advertising for it. So it is a big thing. So when you see pickleball, that's what else is going into it. The money, we're gonna have to probably look at it, applying for a trust fund grant for this, because the 2 tennis courts is $14,000 and change, and then to do the basketball court is $7,000. So it's a pretty hefty price to pay. But like Layla said, we have to start getting after it now, or we're going to have to lose both tennis courts. And to put in new tennis courts would cost $100,000. So that's where we're at. Oh, real quick, Scott, could you talk about how the application for window night? Okay,
I can.
can you do it real quick?
Yes.
I got it, just popped in my mind.
Rob asked me to put in our grant, or not our grant application, but our street project. When we close off the road for the car show and the 4th of July, we actually pulled a permit for the whole year. But unfortunately, just like those two previous events, we have to wait 21 days out in order to say we need the road closed for a special event. So we had to wait for the window night, when we have to wait for 21 days before, and it comes up to be like November, the second week of November is when I have to actually call. I don't think there'll be a problem, because we didn't have a problem with the 4th of July, we didn't have a problem with the car show, but it always makes me leery knowing that we have to wait till the last minute to actually pull the permits to do that, so that's where we're at. We have our permit already pulled for the year, it's just we have to ask permission 21 days in advance to give the state, you know, but they don't have any projects going down that time of the year, so I don't think we'll have a big problem with it, so. Unlike like 4th of July or the car show days, so. So that's where we're at, we're still kind of just in limbo and assuming or hoping we're not gonna have any problems, so.
Thank you, I forgot to add that on my committee report.
Just so, the window night has changed, is that right, to Saturday, is that
Saturday, December 6th,
starting at?
5, right?
One other thing about the park area is up there down to that, did you get that water taken care of up there? It has to be done though. We have a problem with the water in the parking area, and it's onto the courts as well, so.
Oh, yeah, you got culvert ordered?
We got halfway culvert down now, yep, we're gonna culvert the rest of the way down.
Okay.
We tried something that didn't work, so we're gonna try another one.
Thank you, Sam.
So on this, on the court, is anybody gonna volunteer to really actively pursue grants?
That's a good question.
I mean, because we talked about, if we wanna do it, we have to actually start looking now.
Can we apply for a trust fund grant even though we've got one actively right now and we haven't started pursuing this first project for the shoreline?
I don't know yet.
That was my question. I didn't want, I don't know either. If we have one in the hopper, we haven't even started that one and we're applying for another one. We haven't even used the monies allocated to us for this first project.
It has been approved though, so it's probably off
It
of
has?
the grant project.
All right.
It's just up to us to sign an agreement with the DNR,
All right.
would be my one thought on that. And there might be some other grants, I don't know, placemaking, like, I don't know. Might be
I look
called
for-
Northern Lakes or something to see what grants are available for that type of project, for recreation.
Trust fund was the best way to go. I looked with one, USTA, United States Tennis Association, but you have to have, they want tennis courts for kids 11 and under, things of that nature, very specific to grow their sport. They weren't necessarily looking into resurfacing tennis courts. They wanted to have what are called small junior courts to have the game grow in the United States. So USTA was out. I looked at trust fund, and that seems to be the way to go. And again, we can look into it and see what the procedure is and find out, perhaps we can call Gordy Fraser. They would know if we can have 2 trust fund grants going simultaneously if we match funds. And of course, we know about, what percentage we got to
Who can use them, the tennis courts,
anybody.
and where they open, can you apply